There are things we say and we cannot do simply because we have trained ourselves to do more of the things that we even rarely say. And nobody really cares about your resolutions.
Hello people, welcome to yet another episode of 360 Talk with Zor. And on this amazing episode, I have my big brother on set. I'm so happy to have him here. He is a communication and brand strategist. He help business do branding, and he is deeply into communication. And I'm so happy to have him here. So welcome with me, nearby Fakai. You're welcome to the show, sir.
Hello, Zor. Hello, 360 Talk with Zor.
Yeah, 360 Tribe.
Oh, the 360 Tribe.
Yeah.
I'm catching on to the tribe. So what's up, everybody who's watching?
Yeah, I'm so happy to have you on the show today, sir. So when the whole idea of 360 Talk with Zor hit me in January this year, 2023, you were like among the first guests I had on my list. But I told myself, I know I'm not where I want to be yet, but I told myself, no, I'm not going to bring him first. Let me try and
Okay.
let me just let me hold myself well before I call you, before I will go and disgrace myself before my head.
No, but it's not. You can't actually get to say disgrace. I've been following what you've been doing, and you've been doing great work.
Wow.
I will tell you that for free. Plus, I'm on air, so I'm not allowed to say anything that is not verifiable on air.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate coming from you. I really do appreciate. So, sir, tell us a little about your background.
Okay, so I'm generally called Nia or Mr. Nia. Into communications. I use communications to help businesses find expression. Now, everything that I do is couched under communications because it's neater that way. But I major in branding, so brand communications. I help individual brands, I help people, I help business people, I help institutions find expressions with their brand. And also communications. I design training courses in communications. My major is digital media. That's where I love to research because I do research work too on the side. So I write. I'm a spoken word artist. I'm a retired songwriter.
Why retired?
I'm retired because
You don't want to do it again?
No, I have those reasons. They're a bit personal.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's it for me for now. Till you ask more questions. But that's the most I can bring out of my head.
Yeah, good to have you on the show, sir. So let's go into the conversation now. So basically, there is this thought that be ringing in my head. Like the new year began, we are just in 2024 now.
Yeah.
And everyone is trying everything possible. They want to live right. They want to cut off behavior. They want to cut off friends. They think there are some things they did in 2023 that was not right. This, that still revolves around the word New Year resolution. So I want to ask, because I know you do mentorship too. Mentor content creators and communication people, and you mentor young people in general. So I want to ask, do you think New Year resolution is like a prerequisite for a successful year for any person? Because it's looking like if you are not sitting down to write, this year I must do this year I must do this, I will cut off my friends. Like there are people that have habit that they've been living, like a life they've been living for years, and grown adult, and they think they can cut those attitude or those lifestyle off in just making a New Year resolution.
Okay, so let's look at it like this. It's okay to get excited in the new year. And that's basically what happens to many people.
Okay.
We get excited in the new year. The vibe of a new year, new things, the entire idea of, experiencing the cycle of a whole year with everybody, So that excitement comes with a lot of things. Now, if you also understand human beings exist in seasons, right? So you will know that at the end of a season, going into a new season, the euphoria of that season comes.
Okay.
Right? Now, part of what comes with that euphoria is what has wired a lot of us, because it's an end of a year, it's a new year, right? So we are always told to take stock,
Okay.
right? At the end of a year, because we're going to start a new year, And so what now happens is that pressure starts coming, that pressure of taking stock.
Okay.
Especially because this is how it works. Now, you notice in December, people go home, right?
Okay.
You are an Ogoni boy, so you know what's up. We spend so much, we put in so much effort to turn up at home in December. Right? So you notice people are a certain way during the year, they are not, but they are, saving outfits for, trips in December.
Which is very funny for me.
You want to understand the pressure, so let me explain it. So shoes, everybody's packaging themselves so that when they turn up,
yes,
right, this is who they will show the world, So if you are of that category, you know that, of course, you're picking your coolest things, when you're traveling, so that, you will be a certain way. I remember when I was in uni, some guys I knew who were bikers in Benin, when I saw them at home, I was like, what's up? And interesting thing is, when they came, they were greeting me, hey, senior man. I didn't feel senior because they turned up, braided hair like Jaru, blonde, there were things that people did to appear a certain way. Now, if you see all that happening, now that's where pressure comes.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Because that person has turned up at the end of the year and everybody sees success.
Okay.
It is calculated to be delivered in December. So you have saved money to burn in December.
Wow.
Events, turn up, everything. It is how you are wired. It's crank it on in January, deploy in December. That is how these people are. So when you see all that going on, if you're not mentally stable, you start to ask yourself questions, right? Especially because you have not seen that person the whole year.
Yeah.
Right? Nobody's this guy where me and I'm being. Now you do not have an idea how he's living.
Yeah.
You don't know what he does, but he has been able to, just by allow me borrow the street parlance, just by drip.
Okay.
He has been able to pressure you to go and think about your life. So now that's one type of pressure you get.
Okay.
So some people now say, okay, next year I must blow. I must do this one. I will turn up when I'm turning up in December. I must turn up in this car. And there's that pressure, right? Then flip it. We go to church.
Yeah.
Right? So going towards the end of the year too, church people are telling you have to take stock of your life. If you have to move from here to, and we also have, this is the generation where almost everybody is a media person, a coach, or someone who can just inspire you because of what we post on our pages, right? So there is all that talk about success. We have events where, people are, it's happening. Go through November, December. If you were in Port Harcourt or you are in Port Harcourt, you know that there have been some major events.
Yeah.
So all these things will make your head go that way. So going to the end, because you've seen the calendar, you've seen a countdown, your mind is just wired to now start thinking of how you can position for better. Everybody wants to feel like you can be better. It's just a thing. A pastor has preached, and you now say, okay, this year I will stop smoking, so help me God. And a lot of people who drink alcohol too know that they make that prayer. That prayer you make when, as in, on a day where you are very high, you say, God, I beg, if I reach house, I will never do this thing again in my life. Yeah?
Yeah.
So when the minister has told you, take stock of your life, so you sit down and remember you fell inside the gutter and I say, oh, I'll never drink again, and all that. All that is happening at the end of the year. So it now makes you say, make a resolution.
Okay.
Which is not a bad thing, right? It's not a bad thing to make a resolution, but let's look at it like this. You drive,
Yeah.
right? Good.
But
You're
not a very
driving.
good driver.
No, but at least you have not killed anybody we know driving. So you drive, right? Now, if you even for small cars,
Yeah.
you want to turn a bend, you negotiate the turn.
Yeah.
There is a process of turning.
Yeah.
If you watch big trucks, because of the size of the truck, before the truck gets to a junction, the truck and the driver, even they already have people who are signaling and they are negotiating a turn.
Okay.
They don't get to the junction
And turn.
and do your car will go over. Even if it's a Mini Cooper, you can't still turn it like that. There has to be some form of negotiation.
Yeah.
So what happens when you have people who now get into resolutions at the end of the year is you notice that that person has not initiated a negotiation early.
Okay. Okay.
So it's not realistic for that turn to happen.
Because negotiation has not been.
It has not been. So I can decide to say, okay, if I leave here now and I get outside, before I get into my car, I'm going to change into a white shirt. I can say that. That's what I want to say. Nobody's going to stop me. I have freedom of speech.
Yeah.
But for that to be successful, between here and getting into my car, there needs to be a white shirt somewhere.
Okay.
You understand? You can't get up and tell yourself stuff. And you, in your own sincere mind, you know it is not obtainable. You're just pressuring yourself. I was talking to someone this morning, one of my godfathers, right? And it was deep conversation. And in that conversation, I was trying to explain something to him. And what I was trying to explain to him is sometimes we make choices.
Okay.
We decide that this is how we want to show something. But we have not considered the parameters around those choices we are making. You know, I can decide that this is how I want to be represented. But the work that needs to go into that needs to happen first. Or else I will break my own heart.
That's true.
Right? So what happens to us in the whole thing about resolution is that we set ourselves up for failure.
Okay.
Simply because we've not been able to assess ourselves.
You not make the negotiation in your words.
I tell you what I do. I have meetings with myself. I'm going to say this on air now. And there are some people who call it multi-personality disorder. It's not a disorder because my personalities are very coordinated. Right? If it is something serious, I have to sit down and buy myself refreshment. Have that meeting with myself and understand where I am
for the
going.
very first time.
Now, this is how it works. Because most times we don't tell ourselves, people don't want to listen to themselves.
Okay.
And we are in a generation that we are filled with so much noise that we can't hear ourselves. Most times when you are lonely, you are actually not lonely. What has filled your head is the noise from everywhere else while you're alone. So you are not lonely. You just have other people's voices in your head and many things. You have seen this person's status, you have seen the other.
Different
All those things are
voices
walking you up and you are lonely. Now, being alone and being lonely are two different. I don't want to get into that. Now, but like I said, I recommend it because I do it. Proper self-audit. Sit down. Guy, this is your matter. This is what you do. And you know that this is what you do. Now, nobody can tell you that. There are things you do that only you can. And some of us are very smart. We know how to defend our choices very well.
Yeah.
You know. So, if you've not had that meeting with yourself, if you cannot do a proper self-audit, I think New Year resolutions are a waste of your time. You're probably just saying it to appear interesting or impress somebody.
That's true.
You know.
Yeah.
So, at the point of you saying, I want to make a New Year resolution, you should have had those meetings. And it's not a one-time meeting. So, I learned a while ago that for you to develop a habit, you have to do it consistently for 40 days.
Okay.
So that means if your New Year resolution was going to be tangible, you should have deployed it in October.
Okay.
Do you understand? You should have deployed it in October, saying, I want to stop this thing. So you do a first try, first 15 days. See how consistent you are. That's how to do it without being pressured. And actually achieve the desired outcome. So first 15 days, if you break it, you can have those meetings with yourself and prepare yourself based on what you already know about you. Fact of the matter is, like I said, nobody really cares about your resolutions. Honestly. Like I said, except people you want to impress.
Most times the people you even want to impress, they don't even care.
They don't care. Because the point of the resolution is, what makes your resolution now matter is the outcome of that resolution
results
by October. So if by October you have started this thing in January and you have powered it till October, then the resolution you made in January worked.
Okay.
But understand what I said too. For that resolution to work, you should have started it in October.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So you start your resolution in the October of the previous year. So you have November to try and fail. You have December to try and fail. In all those times you're trying and you're failing, you're understanding yourself. And you really need to know whether it is necessary to put yourself through that pressure.
Or not.
Because the fact of the matter is, there are really things about you can't change.
Okay. There are things about you can't change because you actually don't have power over them.
You can pray now. The Holy Spirit can help you if you know Him. You can also use principles.
Okay.
Right? But everything starts and stops in that forum where you have a real sincere meeting with yourself.
So if there's anything you need to get from this conversation so far, it's amazing because I'm hearing for the first time is your personal meeting. See that meeting where only you go sit down and talk. It's key because it's going to give birth to every other thing. That's when you have like a sincere talk with yourself with before going to hear any other person's opinion. Because at the end of the day, you're going to be the one that will face your life. Nobody will live your life for you.
Yeah, so let me also add this to that, because also part of the reason why we don't have those sincere meetings with ourselves is because we are religious people.
Okay. We want to fit it.
No, I'll kick that table. Now, what happens with religious people is that we are told not to say some things.
Okay.
Do you understand? No, don't say this about yourself. Don't do this. You are not this. Mm-hmm. It's good though when you are on a journey of transformation.
Okay.
It's good because you are now recalibrating, you're correcting. But for clarity, you need to tell yourself the truth.
Yeah.
If nobody knows, at least you owe it to yourself. If you're a Dagbo man, you should sit down and say,
tell yourself the truth.
Dagbo man.
Even though you don't care about anybody, but you owe it to yourself.
You know. So that when it is time to walk on your Dagbo-ness, if I choose to use that, you know how to pay that attention.
That's true.
So that's what happens with a lot of us. We've trained our minds not to acknowledge what we really do and who we really are.
Okay.
So we blame the devil, we blame society, we blame every other thing.
Blame people.
Right? I'm not saying you should be bad, but if you are bad, acknowledge that you are bad.
That you're bad. Okay.
And it is in that acknowledgement that God can help you.
That you can find solution.
Good. Because at the point of when they say, okay, so all the people who are bad in this, raise up your hand. Because you are not telling yourself, by faith, I am not bad. You've not raised your hand. And help has not met you.
And the first step is to acknowledge.
Acknowledge. So, question is, what are the things that I'm concerned about? About me, resolution. Why do I need a resolution?
Okay.
If you don't believe that your life can be better, there is nothing your resolutions can do to make you better.
Okay.
If you do not believe that you need to move from point A to point B, there is nothing you can get out of a resolution because that movement is not initiated. Your entire members have not come to peace and terms with the fact that you need to do that. So even if you have told yourself in words, your brain has still not accepted it. So you will not behave that way. You can only just say it, but you will not behave that way. There are things we say and we cannot do simply because we have trained ourselves to do more of the things that we even rarely say.
Okay.
I feel like
please say that again. We need to hear that again.
I said there are things that we say and we do not do simply because we have trained ourselves to do more than the things that we hear.
Okay.
Say. So
guys, you hear that one? No. That one is deep. I don't need to explain it.
No.
Go and listen to it again.
So for me, for resolutions, I think resolutions are good.
Okay.
If you have initiated the negotiation of that turn at the right time.
Okay.
Now, are they necessary? Are they important? As a business person, for instance, you can resolve now that, okay, based on the way my business has gone this year, what I want to do next year is this, and this to achieve this.
Okay.
So when you have set that goal out there as a business person, every other thing you are lining up helps you meet up with that. Do you understand?
So I'm going to cut you. So, sorry, I'm going to cut you. So what you're saying now, there's a clear difference between resolution, a New Year resolution, and a New Year goal, or let's say plan.
Oh yeah, of course now, because you're supposed to, it's a new calendar for everybody.
Okay.
Right? So, I'll speak as a brand consultant. It's a good time in the yield tide to jump on a trend, or to create a trend, or deploy a trend.
Okay.
Right? It's also a good time to deploy a protocol for your business.
Okay.
It's a good time to deploy a system of operation for your business. Why? Because everybody is turning that calendar.
Okay.
You know? So it's not out of place for you to come to a business and they say, we've been there do this thing last year, but we know they're doing like this again this year. Artists will tell you, I know I won't say the name, but last year's price is not this year's price. Am I wrong?
It's true. You're
Good.
Totally right.
Good. So because there is that seasonal shift that happens, as a business person, it just makes sense to leverage it.
Okay.
If you've never deployed like a calendar for your business, it makes sense to start the count when everybody is counting one.
Okay.
Right? It just helps you, you know, because it's the tide is going, you join the tide. But for that to work, like I said, it is also a plan that you have set in motion.
Okay.
So for you're supposed to be by your third quarter in business in a year. Say, okay, by the first quarter of next year, these are our projections. These are the things that we do. You work your budget and everything towards that.
So what I'm getting right now, it's you don't make New Year plans or even the resolution you call it in January. You cannot stay this February that we are now and say, I want to start implementing. So if you are going to implement anything now, it should be something you've been planning last year and you've even tried it, just like he said, you've even tried it and you've seen the flaw. You see if it's going to work or not, if you need to amend some stuff before you, not let me stop. Let Big Bro continue. Just because this thing is doing me somehow.
Yeah, and I understand it. And there's also something I was going to bring to light. A lot of people become really suicidal at the end of the year.
Okay.
And why they want to kill themselves is because, as it is, some people have been able to collapse their success stories and tell it in December, so it sounds large like that. And then some people have been able to look back and say, oh, this year I bought a car, I built a house. Even if the person has been saving that money from 10 years ago, right? That person will say, this year I.
Yeah.
Say, this
and
year
you have no idea about how
and you don't know when it started. So you now, in your place of viewing what has been put on social media suddenly to give you stress,
You're like, this guy, this year, he don't build house, he don't do.
Don't marry.
And you do not know how long that negotiation was initiated for the success to appear in front of you. So what happens with us is we don't know how to be nice to ourselves. And I tell everybody now, because mental health is an issue for a lot of us.
No, but I'm so happy that today, most of the things you're saying, you're speaking about individuals concentrating on themselves.
Oh,
first.
yes. I think we should be more kind to ourselves. I think we should be more patient with ourselves. The reason is because it's good to take yourself seriously, but ultimately, people are dealing with their own issues.
Everybody.
Now, that is not an excuse for you not to take care of yourself or do the needful, right? But the fact of the matter is this. You need to be patient with yourself. You need to know your own pace. You need to understand what success is to you.
Understand what success is.
Understand
to you.
it clearly.
Because it's a personal thing.
That is what defines how you engage.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Now, when I introduced myself, I said I'm a retired artist, a songwriter.
Yeah.
Right? I have going on 35 recorded songs.
Wow.
My music is exclusive, so I don't share them online. It's not for everybody. Right? Now, at a certain point, one of the reasons why I stopped was because I did not think I was going to be successful enough.
Okay.
Now, guess what? Songs I wrote 10 years back, 15 years back, still sound better than some hits that I hear today.
Wow.
I'm not bragging, right? But what happened with me was, in my definition of success as an artist, I didn't see myself achieving what I had set to achieve.
Okay.
So I couldn't get into it. Now, other people who listen to my material after then, even till now, say, great, you're an artist. But in my definition and understanding of art and how I want to portray
now
my
it's about
art,
you, which is the most important thing.
yes. So do I have songs? Yes. Now, someone who is struggling, someone who doesn't know how to write songs, most of these ringtone artists that are jumping all over the place and looking for songs, right? If I throw 1-2 songs at them, they'll probably be running all over the place, saying they are successful artists. Now, success to them is just release music and whatever you can do to ring. Still music, but definition is different. So same thing for business, same thing for relationships. So that definition of success needs to be clear.
Okay.
And you need to also, like I'm at the point of you being nice to yourself, you need to also give yourself a chance to deploy that success in bite sizes.
Okay. Okay.
As much as you can get out. I'll tell you, this stuff works for me. Like some days I feel I'm not feeling myself so much, right? So I have this game I play. Need for Speed, Most Wanted. I'm not a gamer, right? But that's like, I'm a car race person. That's like my favorite game ever.
Okay.
So my Android phone always had to buy the game for my phone. So I always have the phone on have the game on my phone. So I'm trying to write something. I'm trying to create a product. I'm trying to do something. It's not working. I take 2 hours and I just go and sit down.
Wow.
And I race. And I buy new cars. After it works like magic. It helps my mood. Now, that's what you call bite sizes of success. You can litter everywhere. Right? So a lot of us we've created very humongous targets for ourselves. And we cannot deliver on it. We have not even had that meeting to be sincere with ourselves.
Ourselves first.
To say, can
meeting.
we carry this thing? Can we deploy this project?
You see that meeting? If you know they get them today, we are ringing it as a bell.
Yeah.
You must have that meeting.
So because it's when you've done that you can say, okay, me knowing myself,
Okay.
I know that I'm a lazy person.
I can't do
So it makes no sense for me to suddenly wake up and say, from the 1st of January, I will now be waking up by 5 a.m. and praying for 1 hour. Hello?
The truth is, sorry.
You can't achieve it.
This thing you said, actually, I'm a living witness because it works for me. So I graduated from University of Port Harcourt.
Yeah.
So I tell people this thing every time, and people say I'm like, I'm not very intelligent person, but I'm a smart person. So when I got admission into university, I knew I was going to take some decision. If not, I was going to have a problem. And to the glory of God, when I say it, people are like, is it in Nigeria? I graduated without having any carryover from my first year to my final year, and I did not sort any lecturer. I came out with a 2-1, and it wasn't because I was intelligent. I will still say it tomorrow. It was because I was smart. I told myself, just like you told you're saying about telling yourself, you know, I'm a weak person. I told myself, oh, guy, if you miss test, guy, if you miss class, you guys listen when the lecturer they talk. Nobody will talk where you go understand. So when I say this thing too, I'm not sure I mixed class up to 5 times in my 4 years in university.
And it wasn't because you were intelligent.
And it's not because I was intelligent or I don't want to miss class. I knew if I don't use those methods, if I don't write all those attendance, if I don't do those, and they allow just normal, come and write exam, I will flop. So I have to tell myself that truth, and it works.
Yeah. So I like that you can see how it applies, but like we also know a lot of us like to do that blame game. We want to blame, but even some of us are blaming Nigeria for many things.
But wait, are we not supposed to? No. We should not blame Nigeria. Are you saying we?
Yeah, some things I cannot say on this show. But one of the main things I would say is, no. From when I had sense, I understood that I could not blame Nigeria.
Okay.
No, and I'll explain it to you. Many of us have seen how a nation works.
Okay.
You know, because we have seen what happens in the West, and you know. But we have seen that our own is not like that. Full stop. There is no because this, because that. Our own is not like that.
Just tell yourself that truth.
Now, why I'm saying this is because I have a friend who says this. He says he doesn't say the Nigerian anthem. I said, why? He said, because he can't relate. He feels like they are lies. Ever since he was born, he's over 30 years.
That's deep.
Now, that's his position. So a lot of people have that. Now, you knowing that is your reality. You live in a third world country. That is your reality. And when I say this, I say it because I'm an academic, I'm a researcher, so I understand the statement, a third world country.
Yeah.
When I say it, people who think they are more patriotic than me say, no, don't say that about us. We are developing.
Nigeria is not a developing country.
But that's not what we're talking about.
Let's just leave it.
I'm making this analogy. I'm making this analogy to bring it down to yourself.
Yes.
So you know that this is your reality. Right? MI and Suspect, was it Suspect, one of those guys, on the track. There was a track called, they were singing to every Nigerian being a local government.
Okay.
Because you provide security for yourself, you provide power for yourself. You are basically, you should be a local government chairman. Because you are your government. That is your reality. Now, I'm not saying this to say we should behave as anarchists.
Yeah.
Right? We have seen that whatever system is here is not working yet. So be honest with yourself.
Okay.
And the reason why you go to church and you have Christ is so that you are able to have a balance in this dog-eat-dog world that we exist in. It's what's supposed to control your morals. Okay, everybody's like this, but I may be different. If I take money, I will deliver on the job, and But I will also know that I may be taxed as a business person 1, 2, 3, 4 times because I have a shop. That's my reality. Once you acknowledge that, your mind, your brain starts to give you other options. To protect yourself. Once you have refused to understand that, and you think you can say, no, it's my right. As Nigerians, we do. That's where your problem starts from. And I say this to older people as I say it to younger people. When I'm talking, and I have a lot of older friends, like senior friends. But one thing they never say around me is, in the good old days, you people, I don't know what it... Because once I said that to one man, the man thought I was insulting him. I told him, I said, sit down, let me explain to you. I told him, I said, you don't have the right to tell me anything about my world now. and say the good old days because you have lived longer than me. You are part of the problem. You started this thing and inherited. I am just some years behind you. If you went to school and there were 2-to-1 chicken when you people had lunch, and you could walk to a Kelvinator and take chocolate drink from, I'm talking University of Nigeria and Nsukka. What happened between then and now? I wasn't involved. I was born into a system that is now not working. All of you are now telling us, this is our Nigeria. What were you guys doing? Did you as much as maintain what you received?
Even though you don't want to progress with it.
Don't progress it, fine. Let it just be that, okay, at least by the next generation, at least they will be chopping chicken wing. At least give them chicken wing and maybe chekeleke leg or something. But you go there now, nothing works. So the question I ask is, whose fault is it? Is it the younger generation that came and spoiled everything that the older people set up? Someone should answer that question. I digress. But I'm saying this to now drop my last point on this thought, which is the pressure of a new year makes you think you have to be extraordinary. Makes you think you have to do more. It is fine to think that you have to be extraordinary. But even in the statement extraordinary, ordinary is there.
Okay.
Extra is added to it. Now, what happens with most of us is that we see something that is working. We get used to it. We think it's basic. And then we now think we want to become extraordinary. And we forget or we relegate that thing that has been working to the side because we want to create extraordinary. You can only place extra on ordinary.
So you can only place extra on ordinary. So do you have the ordinary first?
Yes.
First thing first.
And how consistent have you been with that ordinary? So as a business person, right? You want to wake up and say, my New Year resolution this year is that I'm going to be, my clients, I'm going to be giving them gift packs when they buy or when they come and I do jobs for them. Hello? Have you actually delivered consistently enough to be able to say, these are my clients? That basic thing that you do before you think of this, because it's also the end of the year. A lot of people are advising business people for the new year, add this to your business, do this, do that, and you have not been able to do your basic requirement as a business person.
Extra.
You are trying to look for extraordinary to add because that is what is going to appear interesting when you talk about your business. So you notice people go on social media and say, okay, this year we're going to do this. Someone ordered something since October, you have not delivered it to. You're talking about the supernatural or the extraordinary you would do. So let's go back to it. Have that meeting with yourself. Have an understanding of what you can deliver on. Be consistent. And ensure that your ordinary is perfect and exceptional before you now start considering that extra. And I keep saying this. A lot of us, we don't really need to do supernatural things. We just need to just be natural. Imagine in Nigeria where everybody's just doing the normal thing that is expected. Everybody's just doing, I'm driving, I get to the light, I stop because the light has, there is no other extra magic that you need for the society to work. That basic. And so New Year, people keep, and I when I hear people say New Year is, I say, guy, go and tidy yourself. Just be consistent in a few things and be sure that you're consistent in it.
So do you think this pressure that comes with it is a right energy or is something we need to tail down on?
No, it's like I said, the only people who pay attention to the pressure of New Year resolutions are people who actually don't understand how life works. That's people who pay, because like I've explained it to you now, if you're a business person and you know that you're going to deploy this plan in January, there is a gestation period for the plan.
Okay.
So the things that need to move for that to happen, they need to happen. You have an event that needs to happen. You don't show up on the day of the event and start calling all the vendors to show up.
Yeah.
And set up instantly as the event is going to happen. So you plan, you have meetings, you have strategy sessions. It's the same thing with resolutions. But this one is you just have that meeting with yourself. Okay, if I stop this, can I maintain it? Okay, let me try for 5 days. If you can't, just leave it alone. And just wake up and say Happy New Year and carry on with your life.
Thank you so much, sir. Like, I think I myself need to watch this episode again to digest everything that have been said on this episode. So this is my favorite part of this, one of my favorite part of the show, the game, and it's a very simple one: a this or that.
Okay.
So let me start with this. So, you're into events. So do you event hosting or doing an AOP work?
OAP. I prefer OAP to hosting.
Right.
I'm a behind the microphone guy.
Okay.
And so even at events, I work more as a producer.
Okay.
So I rarely want to stand in front and hold the mic.
Okay.
Yes, but if I'm in a studio, like the studio is like my safest place in the world.
Wow.
Just behind that mic, and that's it.
Okay, so the second one, a dinner date or a movie date?
I love movies. I'm not a big eater, So, but I'll take a dinner date if it's just to meet people.
Okay.
Yes.
Not for the food.
Yeah, meet people, and of course, if the food is great.
My own is for the food first.
No, if the food is great, obviously.
Okay, so you've traveled the world, and you've been in Port Harcourt, so you've been in Lagos. So I want to ask, Port Harcourt or Lagos?
Port Harcourt.
Why Port Harcourt?
Port Harcourt.
Is it because you're a Port Harcourt person?
No, it's not that. Port Harcourt, Lagos is too intense for me.
Everybody's saying this.
No, but it's also part of those meetings I've had with myself. I've had to turn down jobs in Lagos because I can't do that. I can't wake up by 4:30, drive for 1 hour, 30 minutes, and then the whole day, and then I drive back to do it again the next day. I can't do that.
Okay.
So traffic alone is one problem I have. I would rather drive a long road and my car is moving.
Okay. That
than
means
sit
somewhere.
in the traffic because I'm going here. No. I can't do that. So maybe because of maybe if the traffic situation wasn't so
terrible.
Yeah, I could totally just do. I love to drive, so I can do long drives, right? Yeah, but Port Harcourt is it's a little more now. Business wise, for the kinds of solutions I give, I will pick Lagos.
Okay.
Because they understand it.
The solution better than
Yes, Port Harcourt, Port Harcourt, I'll be honest, Port Harcourt sometimes feels like it's the third world of the third world. We are still trying to catch up, We're doing a lot from here, but acceptance of some solutions more in Lagos than here, so that's why.
Yeah. Okay, so the last one, Port Harcourt Bole or Onunu?
Okay, so
as a proper PH guy.
Okay, so I'm going to break your heart now.
Okay.
Let me break your heart now.
Ha.
I don't like plantain.
Oh.
I don't eat bole.
So.
I don't eat bole, and I have never tried onunu.
In your life?
I suddenly feel like I'm a boring person, right? Like someone like who doesn't eat bole and who has never eaten.
A Port Harcourt person, like.
I mean, I'll take the potatoes and the yam over the plantain. That's my point. Because I'm also an Ogoni boy, right? A precise, a real weak kind of. So I'm into roasted yam, oil and the like. So the sauce, yes, but plantain, I'm not big on plantain.
Thank you so much, sir, for coming on the show. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you, Zor. And I had a great time.
So, guys, it's a new year. And you just have to calm down. Just calm down. Calm down. Don't be too hard on yourself. Yes, we know you want to progress. We know you want to more wings. But have you counted the costs? Have you sat down to analyze that this thing, can I do it? So before you make that New Year resolution, or before you start implementing that New Year resolution that you are implementing already, take a chill pill and think about yourself. Like my big brother said, do a self-meeting. Do the meeting with yourself. And at the end of the day, I think you will definitely see what you're going to do. You're going to see light. Light is going to come, and you know the right thing to do. Thank you for following us on this special episode with Baby Bro. Yeah, follow us on our social media handle at 360 Talk with Zor. And don't forget to take a deep breath and always be in the moment. Thank you.
Hi, so I've just been on 360 Talk with Zor and I had a great time. You should totally follow all social media handles 360 Talk with Zor, and you'll discover some really, really cool stuff. And of course, you get to watch what I did on the show. Ciao.